Oh, hello. Sorry. Good start. Probably should have prepared before I started. Welcome to the first round of the LMS. Technically, not the first round. We have 3 weeks of grading games, so it's in our best interest to drop down as much as we can, but be competitive so we have a good game of cricket, which is exactly what we did today. So round one, and bear with me, I've got my phone here with the results. Note the background, because we finish earlier than we do in Saturday cricket. It's only a couple of hours. Well, depending on the game. Today was an 11:40 game, so we finished earlier. So we're home nice and early, so I can sort of sit us out here and enjoy the sun, although I've got about probably 30 seconds, so if this goes dark, I'll start again. Those of you new to LMS, or Last Man Stands, it's what we play during the off-season or the winter season, just to really keep our eye in from a batting and bowling perspective. Small grounds. As a bowler, you've got to put your ego aside. I'm not very good at that. Having said that, today I'm drinking a green drink, so let's put my ego aside for that one. So we played at Monfarville number 1 today, which is out at St Mary's, because we're playing in the Western Sydney comp. The first 3 rounds are grading rounds. Last 3-4 years since we've played, we've been between Div 1, Div 2. They've only been 2 divisions this year. There are enough teams there playing 4 divisions, so we'll see how we go. We've also got a bigger squad this year, so we don't play every week. We try to have a good squad. We all play and I guess share around, keep our eye in. Bowlers, as I said, bowlers try and get better at keeping runs down. You're going to get smashed. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a small ground. You're playing on Cinto wickets. We've got orange balls this year. We've varied between orange, white over the years. They all do different things. For those of us that don't swing it a lot, you've suddenly got a swinging ball, so controlling it's very, very different. Rules can, for those of you new to us, it's 20 overs a side, 5 ball overs. The first no ball wide is re-bowled, but it's capped at 6 balls and over. Subsequent wides and no balls are worth 3, so it's 1, then 3 for subsequent ones. Those runs go to the batsman. I think it's only leg buys and buys that go to extras, but wides and no balls go to the batsman, which is good. In my past, I think I've got a 27 not out in LMS with only about 3 runs off the bat, so it's quite happy. So anyway, it's a very much a batsman's game, but as a bowler, in your off season, it's a good learning experience. It's a good chance to try and play with different balls and do different things, which is good come rep season for over 50s and over 40s, playing with white balls and orange balls anyway, and pink balls. So the control's different. Anyway, I'm waffling now. So the only other rules for those of you that are new, it's 20 overs, it's 5 ball overs, as I said, 6 if you bowl it wide or no ball. They're worth more. Innings last an hour each. If you go over an hour, there's some penalties. I don't know, we've never done it, so apparently you can't do that. And there's 2 other rules. The last ball of the innings is called the home run. So if you hit a 6 off the last ball, it goes for 12. We had one of those today, and Smeagol joins an exclusive club. And the other rule is you have double plays. So if the striker batsman hits the ball in the air and gets caught, if the non-striker goes to run, he has to get down and back to the non-striker's end for a 2. Otherwise, he can be run out. So we didn't have any of those today, but we've had them in the past because batsmen forget what's going on. So that's basically the rules. That's the setup. I've spent 4 minutes and 5 seconds waffling crap. So let's talk about the actual game today. As I said, it's the first round of grading as such. Players aren't graded, sides are graded. It can get a little bit, what's the word? I'll come back to you on that. It's not always the easiest thing. I think last year we had about 4 or 5 guys that played the Div 1 final and then walked off the field and played the Div 2 final. So depending on how they perform in this earlier season and then what players they bring in and bring out, it can vary. So anyway, today we welcomed, I think Mordo was his debut game today. Let me unlock this phone because I've got to go to the scorecard. Pretty sure it was Mordo's debut. Mordo's been with us for a bit. He played for Kissing Point. He's just recently joined us in the Masters and has come across to the LMS side. JR might be a bit upset from my last report, but Mordo's fast become my favourite cricketer. We'll see what Westy says about that as well. So today I was anointed keeper of the sacred coin and sent up to do the toss, as because I was also paying for today's game. Did the toss. As it was in the air, I was going to call heads, and then realised tails never fails in New South Wales, so I chose tails, and we won, and we went into bowl as we normally do. Not being very good at it, I changed my toss halfway through, and also went to say we're going to bat, and then realised we're not, we're bowling, so that's what we do. Opened the bowling today. Always like to set the tone, but just, I don't know, I'm not sure whether I was rushing it or whether I couldn't control the swing, because I don't normally swing a lot, but my first couple of overs, while they didn't go for a lot, I think I went for a 6 and 2 singles off the bat. There was quite a few sort of wides and no balls, so it wasn't great, but you know, it was what it was. VB opened with me as well, also struggled to control things. So early on, we let them get away a little bit. I ended up with 1 for 40 from 3. I came back for an over later to talk about. VB none for 38 from 2. The big change was bringing on AJ and Mordo. AJ bowled fantastically, none for 14 from 2. Probably should have had my third over, being selfish as I did. I took it a bit later when Mick offered it to me. AJ bowled great, so to go for 7 and over in this format is fantastic bowling. Mordo's come on, and I'll talk a bit more about his performance later, but ended up with 4 for 18 from 4. 4.5 and over on this format is just... and look, let's be clear, the boundaries are probably as far from me to the water behind, if not closer. They're not very big boundaries. And you've got guys that hide in, let's say hide in last man stands, so they can just be flat track bullies. So these guys can bat, but they're not. They can bat, but they can't bat if they went to real cricket. Let's talk about that. So AJ and Mordo dragged them back, to be honest. Their opening batsman got in the bank before, I think, it doesn't say who got the wickets. I think Mordo got the number 2, 15 from 18 balls. They had a couple of guys got 46 and 41. I think the 40. I know the 41 was the LBW, so I know I got that one. So I came back a little bit later, got an LBW. I think Mordo got an early wicket to break them up, which must have been the second opener. They put on a few more runs. I came back and bowled much better lines. Obviously had things not going off the side of the wicket, but when you get straighter, you get hit for a run. So I got hit for a few runs off my last ball. I got the LBW, which only 3 people on the field thought was out. Me, our keeper, Michael Hungerford, and the umpire, which is the most important one. So we'll take that wicket. Mordo's come on after that towards the back end, and let me just have a look at it. We also got Stan bowled. Stan went 1 for 29 from 3, so he bowled really, really well. Justin Ward, none for 16 from 2. Justin figures probably don't reflect how well he bowled. A bit too quick for them. And obviously Smeagol, none for 47 from 4. So Smeagol bowled really well too. So that was, I think he had a lot of thick edges flying off to the, down deep third man, which nothing you can do in 8 fielders. That's the other thing, LMS rules, 8 fielders in the team on the field. So you haven't got a lot of fielders. But just when they sort of looked like they were going to get away with it, Mordo sort of struck, and I know there was some doubts about my LBW, but I'm calling it the gateway wicket, because without that wicket, the new batsman wouldn't have come in, and Mordo wouldn't have then gone bang, 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 got a hat-trick. So great bowling from Mordo, great hat-trick. Three guys bowled in a row, not much you can do about that, so it's pretty good. End of the day, 6 for 206. The small field, the game watched beforehand was 230 they were chasing. I reckon 206 was definitely gettable, but it was always going to come down to sort of, I guess, a bit of luck, which didn't sort of fall our way. Mordo and Michael Hungerford opened the batting. Scorecard's a little bit dubious here because they haven't fixed it, because they've got... Michael got out, but when VB came in, they marked him as out, so which didn't count. So I'll try and get this right if I can. Mordo was going after him early. 14 from 6 balls, couple of sixes. Should have had 3 sixes. Guy did a great diving save and tried to flick it in. Consensus from us in the boundary was it sort of bounced out. The only other person in the field that could see it was a guy. I'm not convinced he could speak English, so I'm not sure he was really aware that we were complaining that it wasn't a 6. So he's called it a 1, so we lost 5 there. Having said that, a little bit later, the same guys called a ball that clearly was a 4. He called it a 6. So we'll 6 to 1, half a done the other. Excuse the pun. So Mordo was out. Mordo started off well, 14 from 6. Him and Michael going for a quick 2, pulled up a little bit short as they threw to the unexpected end. Mordo was found wanting, so he's out for 14. Michael got 12, hit a couple of 6s, started going for them, was playing very well as well, but we lost him. Sorry, mate, I can't remember exactly how you got out, and I'm sure you don't want to remember either, so you're out. VB came in and ended with 49, if I understand right. There was some conjecture because, unfortunately, the umpire who does the scoring didn't mark VB as out when Michael got out and put Michael's runs onto VB, so VB's runs onto Michael. VB batted really, really well. A couple of 6s, haven't seen VB hit 6s. Brilliant, knocking around, played very, very well. Got to 49 and just fell short of the bank, unfortunately. Smeagol batted brilliantly, 27 from 20, a couple of 4s, a couple of 6s. Was just starting to get his eye in when one unfortunately went through him. Stan, as always, the what do we call him? The finisher, the destroyer, the punisher. The bloke that saves us so many times. 31 from 22, was batting so well and got caught deep on the boundary. Justin's come out and even got to us to a point where we're so close. 50 from 17, two 4s and 5 6s. At one point we were counting down the 6s. Batting with AJ at the end from 6 from 4 balls. Justin was getting, AJ was knocking the strike over. Justin was bombing the 6s and 4s. Got to a point where we needed 18 off the last ball for a tie, off the last 2 balls for a tie. So a 6 and as I mentioned earlier, a home run off the last one would have had us tied up. So got us a lot closer than we actually expected to get. So did very, very well. I did my job, stood very, very well at square leg or padded up, ready to go in next, but wasn't needed. And at the end of the day, we've pulled up, what was it, 190, what we chased, 207, so 16 runs short, which, grading round. So let's go. We got close, but we had a strategic loss. We'll take that. Some things to sort of take out of it. Probably not a huge amount. I could have bowled a bit better up front, control things a little bit more. VB batted incredibly well. Mordo, a hat trick and a 4-for. They treat 3-fers like 5-fers in this division because it's so small and so short. So to take a 4-for as well as a hat trick, again, getting close to my new favourite cricket, I'm going to have to get a whole bunch of, I'm going to have to get one of those framed things with cards. One with JR, one with Westy, and one with Mordo. Signed, ready for selling. Well done, guys. I don't know. I probably should get better at this whatever I'm doing here, because I feel like I was just reading that. But one day I'll prepare. One day I'll be better. And if any of you guys have watched through it almost the 15-minute mark, then seriously, good luck to you. You may want a green drink or 7. That's it till next week. I'm going to try. We've got a good squad this year. We've got a bunch of young guys coming through who've not played before, so hopefully they'll play soon. Depending on the timing, I might try and get down the games, and I may try and do a live commentary or something. I'll see how that goes. You listen to me waffle shit for an hour, 2 hours, and good stuff. I'll get a microphone. It's 2 microphones, so someone else can sit with me, and we can, kick off the media career properly. again, and I know I should have learnt this. I've watched enough YouTube videos. You're supposed to say like and subscribe at the beginning, so I'm only going to get those that have made the 15-minute mark. Like and subscribe. Watch the videos. They're not making me any money, so like, frankly, who cares? This is just so I don't have to type up reports because I'm lazy. Anything I've missed, obviously, comments, put them in the comments. That's the whole point of the comments, is to remind me for when I've been lax. I'm going to stop talking now because, I could do this for another half an hour and you guys probably would still sit there and ignore it. But thank you. Questions, comments, concerns, comments, put them in the comment chat and we'll talk later. Thanks, guys. Bye.